never do yearly resolutions, but I thought that this year could be fun to make a list of certain goals that I want to achieve, and if not achieve, at least get a little bit closer to them. So let me enlighten you. Number one, grow longer hair. I was checking my older videos, and number one, not as cringe as I thought it will be. In fact, it wasn't cringe at all. I enjoyed watching myself from 2 years ago and even a year ago. I really recommend you to start a YouTube channel just for that. It's so nostalgic. Like seeing myself in my previous room that I hated. I hated so much. I hate the flat that I was living in. I hated people that I was living with. But I lived in that room for almost 2 years. So I got to decorate it to suit better my personality. And I had this curtain hair, just slightly longer. And it looked so cute, so dreamy. And I want that back. I want that back really badly. Even though I do love how low maintenance this buzzed hair is. But I've had it now for almost half a year, so I think it's time to grow my hair a little bit longer again. And it won't be that longer, so I don't think I will go through many months of this awkward hair phase when it looks just awful and you regret your life choices. I just need to learn to trim myself on the sides and back while I'm growing the top a little bit more. Number two, learn to drive. Look, I never thought that I would have a car because you have to buy a car, you have to pay monthly insurance, you have to pay gas. It's just so many expenses. And for what when you're living in the city? But you don't really have to buy a car if you have driving license. You can just rent it. I am so sick of every time I move flats having to carry all my shit through the metro system. And there was a time when I would move twice a year for many years, so it was a lot of moves, a lot of stress. You can only move when the other person moves out, so it usually gives you just 2-3 days of a time. And you're also working at the same time, so you have to do it after work, and it's just awful and stressful. And with a driving license, I can just rent a car and just do it in one trip. And same goes for having exhibitions. I hate carrying all my paintings through the city into the place that I'm exhibiting them at. You also might damage them while you're carrying them because they can be so big. In my last two exhibitions, my paintings were relatively small, so I could do it all in one trip, but it can be very stressful and annoying as well. And with a car, again, just one trip and you're done. Even if you want to travel somewhere, just a small road trip, I don't know, I think it's just having a driving license would be a very big life quality improvement. Number three, spend more money on self-improvement, meaning books, CDs, art. I read a lot. I mostly listen to audiobooks while I'm painting, but I want to start reading more, and for that I need to have physical copies, obviously. So I want to start buying more books, and this part of the list is mostly for me to stop myself on spending money on unnecessary stuff. Because if the money that I have, I'm spending them on books, music, and art supplies, or someone else's art, then I consider it money well spent and not wasted. And let me show you what I've got this year so far. Seasons of Your Days by Mazzy Star. I actually wanted to buy Among My Swan. I already have the first two albums, and it's one of my favorite albums of all time. I mean, bands of all time. I love them so much. This one I was gonna leave to buy the last, but it is so difficult to find. You can't even find it on Amazon or any music store. So when I saw it pop up on Vinted for 10 euros, I might add, I never spent so much on a CD, but it was the first one that I saw in such a long time that I thought, let's just get it and be done with it, and then I can buy Among My Swan whenever I feel like. Piano Solos by Emma Hoy, a collection of her piano solos. I love Emma Hoy so much. Ethiopian pianist turned nun/pianist. Her music is so minimalistic, sentimental, a little bit jazzy, and I guess spiritual as well. This was my Christmas present that arrived late, so that's why I'm including it in this month's purchases. And I enjoy it so much. All of the CDs that I got, I've been listening to them non-stop while painting, Because that's another reason that I'm trying to get more CDs, is that I'm trying to stop myself from listening to podcasts or YouTube videos while I paint. I want to stick just to audiobooks or preferably music. And I'm trying to curate a little bit better the CD collection that I have, because a lot of those CDs that I have, I've listened to them bazillion times, and I'm just in the mood for something new. So I'm expanding my collection. Moondance by Van Morrison. This is your classical dad music. Great album. Funny enough, the only song that I always skip is the one that gives the title to the album, Moondance. And this music is just so classic Americana to me, even though Van Morrison is Irish. Northern Irish. He did record the album in New York though, so maybe that's why it has such a Americana vibe to me. But it's very melodic. It's lovely. I like this album. Hey, soundtrack Sleepless in Seattle. So I got this one only because it was in the bulk with the next CD that I'm going to show you, and on Vinted is a CD can cost you €1, but then you pay €4 or €5 for the shipping. So every time I buy a CD, I go through the seller's items to see if I can add something else to the bulk. And this CD I got for 90 cents, and I consider it a perfect cooking soundtrack. Demi Durante, Louis Armstrong, Nat King Cole. It's great music to play in the background while you're cooking. I haven't seen this movie in such a long time. I can't even barely remember what's about. Also, I rewatched When Harry Met Sally last year. Oh, I cried so much with it. I loved it. I didn't remember it being so fun and charming. I remember the first time that I watched it, I thought it was very, very boring. Of course, back then, my favorite era Nora Ephron movie was You've Got Mail. And now I find You've Got Mail a bit boring. But When Harry Met Sally is just 5 out of 5. And I think I'm going to rewatch Sleepless in Seattle during the St. Valentine's week. Alright, and this is the CD of which I bought the Sleepless in Seattle with. On How Life Is by Macy Gray. For many years, the only song that I knew about Macy Gray was I Try, and I just figured, why not listen to the rest of the album? I'm sure it's just as good. And oh my god, it is just as good. This is another just non-skip album for me. Every song is great. Then for the books, I've got Kitchen by Banana Yoshimoto. I've heard of Banana and I've heard of Kitchen, but I have no idea what's about. I just know that she's a very popular writer, very loved one, and the book as well, very appreciated, a lot of fans. And I'm just looking to discover more Japanese writers that I like, so I hope I like it. I hope I like it, and I hope I feel like checking the rest of her books. And then the last purchase of the month is Miss Major Speaks. This is, well, it's not a memoir, it's written as an interview. I had no idea who Miss Major was, but apparently she is one of the most influential trans women in history. It seems like she did a lot, and I know nothing about her, and I thought it will be a great book to get into non-fiction, because fiction is only thing that I've read. I've read a couple of memoirs in the past. I remember reading Diablo Cody's memoir, which was very funny. I recommend it. Number 4, expand my palette. I am very set in the colors that I paint with, and I just feel like I'm getting a little bit too comfortable, and I should try new colors. I did last year. I bought, I think it was Yellow Napoli that I did not like. I still have the whole tube. This month I'm trying with, I was looking to buy a Venetian Red, which apparently it's not one set color and it has so many shades depending on who you buy this from. And my brand of paints doesn't even have Venetian Red. So I got the closest one, which I think is called, I don't know, I don't remember, but I'll show you on screen. And I'm loving it. It's a great color. I'm already using it in some of my paintings. It's definitely encouraging me to try more. It's just it can be so expensive trying new paints that you might not even end up liking as much as I thought you would, so you never use them, and it's just money wasted. Number 4, post more videos. Yeah, well, that's more of a personal achievement than a goal. And that's all. That's my very short list. I think it's very doable. I think I can do it. At least growing my hair longer part. You know, it is so interesting watching myself starting a painting, especially the faces, the heads, because I changed them so much over the course of a painting. I've said it many times. Whenever I use a reference picture, I never try to make the person look like the picture, unless, of course, it's a commission or I'm painting someone that I know. When it's just a stranger in the night, I just use the reference for the shadows, for the light, to make a little bit idea clear of where should I go. But the sculpting of the face changes so much over the course of the painting, and you will see at the end how different it looks from how it's looking now. For the sweater, I decided to go for, I think they're called open crochet sweaters. Never painted one, so I am kind of improvising on how to do it and trying a couple of different approaches. Now that the painting is way more advanced when I'm making this voiceover, I do realize that there was a way better way to start it. But you know, for the next time, I loved painting an open crochet sweater, so I'm definitely gonna do it again. As you can see, I advanced the painting a little bit. I woke up yesterday at 4 in the morning feeling so sick with my throat so raspy and I couldn't stop coughing that I just had no strength in me to paint and film. So let me quickly walk you through the changes that I did. First, I've decided to change the color of the sweater to black and make it a little bit more intricate. Takes longer to paint but looks so much better. The reason that I wanted to make it white at first is because I was gonna make her hair dark brown, black. And when I was adding red highlights, I thought it looked very good, so I decided to give her these. In Spain, they call them Californian highlights. I don't know how they're called in English. And as the hair was coming along a little bit, I thought that it would look very good if she was wearing all dark. And I think it was the right call. For the chair, we're going with a rattan chair. I had another chair in mind, a little bit more of a stylish office chair that I'm definitely going to be using for my next portraits. The face is almost finished. I do want to work a little bit more on it, but first I'm going to bring the rest of the painting to the same level of finishedness, because that will help me to not overwork the face too much. And the both chair and the skirt are still sticky, so I won't work on them until tomorrow, which means that the plan today is to finish the hair, the hands, and the sweater. The hair gave me so many problems, and it's all my fault. I've noticed that if in the first session I can't manage to give it proper volume and definition, I'm always gonna be struggling in the second and the third session, so I should have just worked better, but I was feeling a little bit lazy, and I always think that I can fix it in the next sitting, and it's just postponing the inevitable. I have to say, the sweater, I went into Zen mode with this one, and it was way easier than I thought it would be. I keep forgetting how easy it is to trick the eye into seeing something that there is not, and I had so much more work done in the first session that now in the second, when I'm just making more shadows, just making it a little bit more, just fooling the eye into intricateness of a open crochet sweater. But honestly, it took me like, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes, probably less. The chair, I'm gonna repaint it a couple of times. As you will see, I'm painting it without any reference. I did pull up a couple of pictures of rattan chairs, but I'm kind of improvising. I just looking at the pictures to see how they weave in, but that's it. And I don't think it's that important, so I think I can just make it as I go. For the background, as is classic me, I'm just going with one blocky color with lots of shades to make it less monotonous. And I love adding the backgrounds at the end because it brings every tone, all the color scheme together. And I know a lot of people recommend to block it at the beginning and then start painting because it helps you with the values better. But I don't know. I feel like I'm pretty comfortable with how I do the values, so I just leave the background for the last, and it's the cherry on top. And there we go. As you can see, I did not manage to finish the painting for this video. I thought about postponing posting the video because this painting just needs like one more session, but it's gonna take about a couple of days for the paint to dry out before I can start working on it. And then I thought, you know what, an artist's life is a journey, and so is this channel. So thank you for watching. Tune in next Tuesday to see this painting finished, and I'll see you later.